And welcome into the latest episode of Back to You with Panger and Niner. I'm KT. Happy to have you all with us. It is the aftermath of the Super Bowl, guys. We are done listening to all the news items for the last 2 weeks, but always an exciting game. I thought I loved watching. I thought the beginning was a little slow, a little sloppy at times by both teams, and then Usher crushed it, and then we had a great second half. So I give credit to Usher.
I love the way you described
that game going.
Yeah, I was trying to tell Lynn. I said maybe Usher put on a couple of LBs there. He's got the loose fitting clothes and everything like that.
And then he took his shirt off.
And then all of a sudden, and then it was like, okay, then the show started for Lynn and for sure. But what did I not say? I said 27-24. It's recorded. It was on this show, if I'm not mistaken, Niner, right?
You did.
I did. I did say that. And you know me, I'm a prognosticator now. I know all sports because of our Back to You show. Now I'm way more worldly than I was.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome, Panger. You're welcome. We brought you around a little bit, you know?
You're making me a better person and a better analyst too because of that. So
love it. And Niner, you were in Vegas, right?
Yeah. We were watching at the MGM. I had a huge viewing party. I was there with Charles and a couple of our friends. And it's funny because right when Usher took his shirt off, I said, Charles, why don't you stand up and take yours off and see what happens?
I'm sure the people would love to see Charles with his shirt off. He's lost so much weight. He's proud of it. Let the man take his shirt off.
He's looking good, but Vegas was just as crazy as you can imagine. It was unbelievable. Yeah.
I had this conversation on a weekly radio show that I do in Kansas City, and it just so happens they go and win the Super Bowl, which is fun. A gentleman, Stephen St. John, who has his radio show. They kill it in Kansas City. Every Monday morning I call in during football season, and it's a blast, and I love those guys. And this morning we were chatting. It's like every year we say, how could it possibly get bigger? I mean, when the Super Bowl was in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium, when NBC had the game, I was on the sidelines for that game. And I remember it's Hollywood. There's celebrities everywhere. It's SoFi. It's the most magnificent stadium you've ever seen. It's brand new, blah, blah, blah. It was massive. And guys, this Super Bowl was out of control. I mean, you add in the Taylor Swift angle. You've got Brittany Mahomes winning, Super Bowl, Sports Illustrated Rookie of the Year with the swimsuit edition. And all these other things that were happening. How much bigger can it get? It's huge.
I don't know how much bigger it can get, but it's almost like, and I'm not saying it's the same thing, but every time I go to a Winter Classic, you think, you can't do it again.
Yeah, very good point.
And then you do because the city does something different. They elevate it just different. But being in Vegas and there's like Niner, there you are in Vegas. You didn't even go to the game.
Yeah, people just wanted to be in Vegas and go into the casinos and maybe get a glimpse of Taylor.
we've been doing that Vegas trip for 20 years
for the Super Bowl.
For the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And you couldn't even get a plane out, right? I mean, with all the private jets going in and out of Vegas, you took What'd you take? A Pinto, a Ford Pinto?
Yeah,
you and Charles back.
Yeah, the MGM. Charles, all he could afford was a Ford Pinto by the end of the trip. So
no. I don't think so. I get to work with Charles next week. I'm very excited. We've got the match coming up.
He actually mentioned that. He said, "Say hello to KT today. I'm looking forward to working with her." And people were talking about the match and who's working.
Great.
He goes, "We got everybody coming up for that one."
I mean, you guys, it's coming up on February 26th. I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to go down to West Palm Beach, catch a little, nice vitamin D for the face.
Nice.
But it's Rory McIlroy.
Where is it at?
It's at West Palm. I knew you were going to ask me that. West Palm Beach. Oh my gosh.
Country Club?
No. Okay. It's at the public course, which is already actually pre-lit. I have to get the actual name. Hang on.
It's already pre-lit? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
so, they're playing under the lights at 6:30 is the pregame. And then 7 o'clock is the match. And it's Lexi Thompson and Rose Zhang not against, they're playing individual. It's a skins competition. Max Homa and Rory McIlroy. And it's just going to be a blast. But on the broadcast,
so it's not a team thing, KT. It's just all individual.
Correct. It's all individual skins.
Wow, okay.
It's the park in West Palm Beach, Florida. The park. Ooh, look at those fancy muras. The guys, mine are sitting in my foyer. They arrived today, and I've been on work calls. I haven't even had a chance to put them up yet. I can't wait. Wait, but getting back to the match, you guys.
Yeah.
4 golfers and 4 million broadcasters. You've got Ernie Johnson and Charles Barkley, who are just outstanding. Trevor Immelman will give us all the inside baseball on the golf. But then you've got DJ Khaled, who's dying to be a golfer. He's just doing his best, and he absolutely is obsessed with the game. Christina Kim, LPGA Tour player, who's just a ball of a personality. You've got Paul Bissonnette. They're bringing him down to be with DJ Khaled. And then me. It's like...
You know who we need with this?
We're getting coffees for everybody.
We need Mark Rypien on that show. Because Mark Rypien's going to join us on our show right now. Well, gang, on this show, we like to showcase an event or a story which caught our attention as relates to an achievement featuring hard work and dedication of one's craft. That's exactly what Back to You is all about. This is powered by Miura Golf. And when you think of Miura Golf, you think of Katsuhiro Miura, the founder of Miura Golf, and he's mastered the art of steel. Take a look at this. That's hand-forged, baby, right there. That's what this is all about. Every forged club is handcrafted at the factory in Himeji, Japan, where Miura's meticulous process and attention to detail highlight the family's unwavering pursuit of perfection. And if that isn't Back to You, I don't know what is.
There he is. There's Mark. Hey, Mark. Guy. Super Bowl
Kathryn,
MVP joining us.
Panger, thank you. Good to be on your show.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited to have you. You look great. Wait, you were in Vegas too, right?
Yeah, I was doing a few things with Jimmy Mack and at a golf tournament for the Gridiron Greats, and Anthony Munoz had a bowling tournament. You're going to laugh at this one. About 2 weeks ago, I was racing my 5-year-old grandson, and I exploded my quad muscle. I lost the race too. And then as I was bowling and Anthony, I re-injured it. I pulled a quad muscle bowling. That's the great athlete that I am.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well,
oh no,
it happens, right?
Oh yeah, it does.
I love it. What was it like in Vegas? Because we were just talking to Niner about it. I mean, was it just absolutely insane?
Well, we were off the Strip, so we had stayed at a hotel called the Legacy in Las Vegas. So it was kind of nice being away from the Strip because it was so chaotic. But I went to a few events, and obviously it was pretty packed and chaotic. But for the most part, it was pretty cool. It's always surreal to go back and revisit. You know, I didn't go to the game. I was telling Panger I flew back yesterday during the game. I said, if I'm not playing in it, why be there, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I love it. I love it. What did you think? You obviously got back in time to watch the game.
Yeah. Got back in time, and I absolutely thought, first of all, I think, you know, my money is on Patrick Mahomes, and how could you not put money on Patrick Mahomes? But my heart was with the 49ers. Being an NFC East guy for 12 of my 13 years, you know, you got to stick with your boys. And so I thought they played great. I thought the young kid, Brock Purdy, played awesome. Mm-hmm. I think they made, you know, we all talk about going away from the running game when you got the best player in football and the running back position, and especially against a team you want to kind of occupy and keep their offense off the field. So I think they went away from that. But all in all, it was a wonderfully played game. Second half was a little bit slow to start with. The first half obviously was very slow. Then the game got really interesting. And I think Harrison Butker was maybe one of the biggest parts of that football game, and maybe something huge you guys have probably talked about, but I don't know, it was collectively as a media should share more, maybe a little bit more about how influential he was and how big a part he played in that game, especially that 57-yard field goal.
That's unbelievable.
You know, kind of got them on the scoreboard. So it's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Can you imagine in your day somebody making a 57-yarder and he made it look easy?
Well, you know, Panger, our old hockey player, friend of ours, Chip Lowmiller, was our kicker, Minnesota kid, you know, and he could have he could have done that, you know, in the Metrodome. I mean, but Joe Gibbs is a calculated guy, and he felt it was better to have a good defense and good special teams, to not put your defense in a bad position by missing that field goal and changing the field possession. But I think they have so much confidence in Harrison that they just said, let's go out there and let's see what he can do. So it was pretty neat. And I think all in all, it was a great game to watch because it came down to the end. And I thought that with 2 minutes to go in the football game, if they would have converted and had an opportunity to go in and you know, score that touchdown instead of kicking a field goal that gave an opportunity for the go-ahead field goal, instead of getting that first down and kicking a game-winning field goal in regulation, was kind of maybe San Francisco's downfall. I think they might have even should have gone for it on fourth down, but you never give Patrick Mahomes an opportunity with a minute and a half left in a short field to win the game. So
and 4 downs and 4 downs
calculations. So
and Rip 4 downs. You know, the whole thing about the NFL playoffs overtime rules. A lot of people were unaware of that. Charles and I were talking about it watching the game. You're not only giving Charles, you're not hoping for a 3-and-out. You're giving Patrick Mahomes 4 downs the entire way down the field. And we thought, in our opinion, you know, it's always easy to Monday morning quarterback, but it looked like San Fran was almost complacent just to settle for the field goal in overtime.
They came out and said they didn't know the rules today. A lot of the players didn't understand the overtime rules.
That's unbelievable.
Oh my gosh, it's a Super Bowl. Like, how could you not have gone over that at some point?
Yeah, and playoff rules are different than regular season rules. So
right.
It's crazy.
Basically, a start of a new game, and even towards the end, people are going, "How come they're Kansas City isn't hurrying up with only 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds left?" It's because it goes to the second quarter after that. Basically it just kind of keeps going. But I think San Francisco, they even stated that Kyle Shanahan said we made a mistake by going first, because if you allow Kansas City to go first and they settle for a field goal, now you have actual 4 downs basically to push the ball down the field and try to either get a game-winning field goal or, like Kansas City did, the game-winning touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So. It almost reminds me of in 1998, Rip, I was part of that CBS broadcast in Nagano. And it was the first time that a shootout was going to determine an elimination game. And I was actually between the benches. John Davidson, my favorite, was up top. And I'm there, and I'm actually relaying on the air live who's up next. And the coaching staff, Mark Crawford and Gretz, was beside me, like literally on the bench, but very close to me, where I could see the pain in his face. And it was like, it was like they weren't ready for it. They probably talked about it once. It sounds to me like the 49ers, they didn't have any meetings about it, but the Chiefs had several meetings about it. And so you talk about such a vitally important detail and not being prepared for it. That shocks me. That's amazing.
Well, the psychology of it too. And speaking of golf, you guys were talking about golf earlier. I saw Gretz and Janet and at the Live event in Vegas. We went last day just to kind of see if it was my first time there. I thought it was kind of fun. That was interesting. I thought the team concept was pretty cool. And
as an avid golfer, are you okay with it, Mark? Are you
I thought it was cool. I mean, I've never watched it on TV because I don't have the channel that it has. So, but to be there live, I thought was nice. And I thought Brett Baer was there. Maury Povich, good friend of mine, was there.
That's great.
Alan Bubis, buddy of mine, was there. So it was good to see some people there. And of course, Wayne, I see him up in Coeur d'Alene every summer up here in our neck of the woods. I'm in Spokane. And so to see him and Janet, I actually played golf in a group ahead of Janet 2 weeks ago in Emerald Dunes in Florida. Wow. So it's good to see her. And I thought it was kind of a neat little concept.
I thought for sure you would have said you saw her at the tables like Niner did at 6 a.m. while he was leaving.
Well, I tell you, that's
she's brilliant at the tables. She's good.
That's one of the one places I don't know if Kathryn, you go to Tahoe if you spend any time at the tables. But
no, I do not.
I have my budget. I got a $500 budget. I say when I used to go there play in the tournament that if I went and I lose it the first day, I'm done. And if I can continue it, I'll go hang out because I think it's important for us to be, when we were playing in the event, to be seen by the sponsors and all the people.
Yeah, that's true.
So. I'll tell you what.
That doesn't describe a Canadian right there. That's a Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl champion, Canadian. He's got 500 loonies that are there, and that's all he's got. That's it.
I'm pitching those at him. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, hopefully you brought some.
You are a beauty.
Too. We came back, Charles and I, golf Shadow Creek on Saturday. We come back we come back to the MGM, and on our way back in, who do we see sitting at the table? It's Wayne, Dustin, Paulina. And Wayne's like, pull up a chair, boys. A couple cocktails later. The Bill's on Dustin. He just won the live. We're like, perfect.
Shocker.
Let's have a good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
And he was actually behind for most of that tournament. Wasn't he? He was behind for most of that tournament. He made a pretty good comeback there.
Yeah. Right at the end, I think he was I'm not sure who came in second, but I mean, like I said, the neat thing about that is you get 2 feet away. I'm fortunate enough to have a Club 54 or Suite 54 seats right there, and on the 18th hole that I could come at the end and kind of see everyone come in. But with a shotgun start, you can just go out there and follow a group around.
Awesome.
Some of the best. Paul Casey, watched him and Bubba, and I know actually Bubba's caddy for me in the Diamond Resorts event about 6 years ago in Orlando. And so I got a chance to say hi to him. I played golf with Kenny Harms, who's Kevin Na's caddy, So I think I knew more of the caddies than I did the players. But it's kind of surreal to be out there and watch these guys literally. I mean, I'm taking, video because I want to see their golf swing, from behind. So I got this perfect shot of their video in slow motion to see where their club is at the apex and how their hips and everything turn and coming through. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome. How much golf are you playing these days?
Well, in Spokane, we're just getting out of the thaw right now.
Okay, gotcha. So, I figured as much.
Yep, the courses are opening, but I have a daughter and 2 grandkids in Orlando. I got my other daughter, her husband's Lieutenant Colonel Marine Corps in Baltimore, and my other granddaughter's up there. So I'm going to get down there in the next couple weeks and head down to Florida. Joe Willie's got a tournament that I'm going to play in for his foundation down in West Palm. So it's looking forward to play that PGA National. And so, yeah, it's just kind of fun to get out there and help others. And Jimmy Mack's event this week was great at Angel Park, raising awareness for the Gridiron Greats and helping them out. It was a cannabis-friendly event, which, I'm not big into cannabis other than I think it's got some great purpose for our veterans, some of the athletes to get away from the opioids and onto something a little bit more natural that can help them out. So.
Yep. No doubt about that.
I'll tell you what, Rip, you play in so many of these charity events and you do such a great job to take time out of your schedule, raise money for awarenesses, different charities. You come to the Arizona Coyotes alumni golf tournament. I just saw you right before Thanksgiving and you're not even a hockey guy. I know you love hockey, but for you to do that, take time out of your schedule, it's just amazing what you do.
Absolutely.
Craig, I led my beer league in scoring, 2 of the last 5
I love
years,
it.
So. Most importantly.
I love it. Not with that torn quad.
No,
really. Oh my God.
Bowling anytime soon.
When did the golf game start to evolve for you? Did you always play when you were playing football those years, or did you pick it up later?
Kathryn's a great question. I've never taken a lesson. No. I watched an infomercial or back in, I didn't played like twice. We had a goat ranch golf course at Washington State University. And basically what we did was we packed up our golf bags with as many adult beverages as we could. And every one of those adult beverages was our handicap. And it was only 9-hole course. Every adult beverage we had plus our score, we subtracted the adult beverage you had on that hole. Nice. And that was your net. So I shot a few under par rounds net back in college days, but really wasn't much of a golfer. Then I got to the pros and was lived about 2 blocks away when I first got to Washington when I was with the Redskins Commanders now to Reston South. It's a public golf course. I bought a season's pass or a summer's pass just to kind of go out and introduce myself to people because I didn't know anyone in the area. Met a bunch of really good friends that are friends to this day and just kind of saw Lee Trevino in an infomercial talking about what he likes to do is open up his left side and clear his hips and just hit a fade every time. And that's all I do. And I've done it for 30 plus years now. It works sometimes and other times that if you get a little too far ahead of it, goes right of some of our politicians.
Right of center. Right of center.
Well,
I played in many events with Rip. Hey, Rip, you're like I think the last one we might have played, it was several years ago, but it was up in Bermuda. I think it was up in Bermuda. And what a great time all our wives had.
Hockey guys versus the NFL guys versus the baseball guys, the football, the whole 9 yards. That was fun.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. The baseball guys had all the money for sure. They definitely did. Bernie Nichols put on a show for us. He was our best player for sure.
Well, he's a great guy too. Great player. Yeah. And I played. Have you played in his? Have any of you played in Bernie's event?
No.
In Vegas, he had it in Vegas this last year, and it was wonderful. And he does an incredible job. And like I say, we all have a platform, based on our status to go out there and help causes of this sort. And if I didn't win a Super Bowl, wasn't the MVP, it wouldn't have opened the doors that it's opened for charitable causes. And when my son passed away in 1998 of a brain tumor, and we started the Rypien Foundation, it's just incredible how many people say yes, and want to be help a good cause. And now we merged our foundation with Mark Few's Coaches versus Cancer. We call the Community Cancer Fund here in Spokane. And the last week in July, we have a big golf tournament, raised about $5 million, which for our area is incredible.
That is incredible.
Last year, I think we had Lenny Kravitz and Eddie Vedder play, and then the year before we had Journey, and we've had Darius Rucker play and on Friday night, and then we have a big event which Adam Levine has played, sung in, not played in the golf tournament. Darius loves golf, obviously,
he sure does.
So it's an amazing thing we do for our community here, and we get Marcus Allen comes up and plays in it, and we got to get you guys.
Yeah, I'd love to.
It's a couple weeks after Tahoe, and Coeur d'Alene that time of the year is one of the most beautiful places on earth, I think. So,
well, we should bring our Back to You show right there live.
Yeah, that's right.
That would be
right out the resort. right out your resort balcony there, and bring in Lake Coeur d'Alene and the beauty of northern
Can't
Idaho.
beat that. Count me
Well,
in.
Rip, we've got some great sponsors here. We got my good friends over at Mira, and you've seen those irons that I've had, and great golf club. And we got Johnny O's is on board with us as well. We got some good people, and you've name dropped a lot of real famous people. So for you to even suggest that we go there and help out, you make more than $5 million. That is quite a compliment to our group right here, Rip. And
well, you guys,
I love it.
You guys got some national. You guys got some national attention. That's what you need. Now it's all about how many people are on your Twitter.
Oh,
your
Twitter
it's
exhausting trying to figure it out. Yeah.
How many hits you get? Speaking of Mira, I love Mira. I think it's one of the best brands in golf, and this is another great brand here. Sub 70,
under 70
Highland out of Sycamore, Illinois. They've been last 2 years have been national club of the year, offshoot club of the year, not necessarily like Callaway or TaylorMade or whatever, Mira or whatever. So I play these, and they're wonderful brand, very affordable for a lot of golfers, and they can actually make them to your liking too.
Wow.
Just give them your specs, so it's pretty neat. Yep,
that's great.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the ads for under 70. Yeah, it's a great logo too. I mean, it looks cool. I thought maybe it was because you were 70 years old, but I
am under 70 or sub 70 is the name of the brand, but I am under 70 by only a few years now.
He's sub 70 for sure. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
How old were you when you won the Super Bowl?
I have 29, I think. And then I played my last year 10 years later with Peyton Manning in Indianapolis 2001, taught him everything I knew and said, take it from here, young man. And
wow.
if you believe that,
the rest is history.
No, I had a great time.
Well, then you should be on TV and do a Peyton or Manning cast like he does. If you taught him all of that stuff, you're a genius.
Well, he is one of the funniest and bright. He was always a practical joker, and actually he was really, really good to me. Because I go, Peyton, how come you always rip all the guys in the team? You don't. He goes, hey, I respect my elders. Is what he said. I guess that in itself was kind of ripping me. I respect my elders.
That's awesome.
So when
he's so funny though. Him and Eli, they're just a hoot. To watch them on their commercials and all the great things that he does. It's pretty funny.
When you watch Patrick Mahomes, I got to ask, because you were known so well for your accuracy with the deep pass, and that's Patrick is just like crushing that right now with his game. But when you watch him play, and having played the position and played in the Super Bowl, what exactly stands out to you most about? He just seems so special, and I feel like he could get 4 more championships and get right up there with Tom.
Well, Kathryn, I think he's got on one finger. He's got more talent than I had in my whole body. He's that gifted, and
crazy.
One of the things I really appreciate about him is he's just a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a down to earth good guy, and you could see it in his interviews and most. Obviously there's times we get frustrated on the field. He rarely shows any frustration, and just keeps so laser focused and pays his attention to detail. The X's and O's part of the game is just as much as a physical part of the game. He understands the game so well. He plays at such a high level, and when it matters the most is when he shows up. And he's done that his whole career. Coming from Texas Tech, he probably had something he wanted to prove. The Red Raiders were always great at throwing the football, and him and I think Connor Halliday still both hold a record for most yards thrown in a game, 734, some crazy thing like that. And Connor Halliday went to where? Washington State University.
Right.
So
there you go, big guy.
But more importantly, Patrick Mahomes is incredible. I mean, the sky's the limit, and I don't see him stopping anytime soon. I mean, the only thing that stops him was an injury, And even with the injury, still was out there with one leg, was better than myself with 2 healthy legs, and it's just so cool. I mean, the game he plays is different from the one I had. Joe Gibbs is more like, we're gonna keep you in a pocket. This is the area where we're gonna perform, and I go, Coach, I'm not going to be able to get out there and perform outside that, so I'm going to stay within this area. And the Hogs were impressive, and you're only as good as the guys up front. And Patrick, with all the contract stuffs that everyone's had and trying to keep salary cap, things like that, they managed to get a group of young offensive linemen that I think are playing now better than they played the start of the year, understanding each other a little bit better, and he's just gone and outperformed even himself, which I think is hard to do when he's that amazing in the first. There's no superlatives I could say for Patrick Mahomes, because I love watching him play. I love listening to him afterwards. It's just great. It's great for the game. So that's why I say, if I bet money That's who I was going to bet it on, the Kansas City Chiefs, even though my heart was with Brock Purdy. And I thought Brock played a great game too. I thought he performed very well.
I thought we learned a lot about Brock in that game last night.
I agree.
He was so calm and cool and collected and focused and had great plays. And, he's earned himself a long career now in the NFL. I hope, because he deserves it.
He deserves it. Absolutely. He's deserved everything, every accolade he's got. And he's gone out there and done it when it mattered the most too.
Yep.
So,
with Patrick Mahomes, you said how many things, obviously we know, how many passing yards, how he can run and get out of the pocket. To me, it's that it factor. You just can't teach some of the feel that he has in the pocket, when he's going to take off, when he's going to pull the ball down, how he's going to get rid of it. It's unbelievable, the feel that he has in that pocket. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that I will tell you, real quick, I'll finish. The one thing I will tell you is, after him proving what he did yesterday and us being on the wrong side of that game yesterday, you may want to get a front row ticket in Tahoe this year, because there's a good chance CB might drown him in Lake Tahoe when he sees it.
Nice.
There is a good chance. Yes, absolutely. I tell you what, it's going to be crazy and wild.
Off the 17th hole?
Yep, off 16 green, 17 tee, 18 fairway. You never know where they're going to, or 18 pond.
Yes, yes.
Exactly. That's so funny.
It's unbelievable. I just can't speak volumes enough about him. And how about this stat that I read this morning? Patrick Mahomes, being a Detroit Tiger fan that I am, 37th round draft pick to the Detroit Tigers. Did not even know that.
That's right. Wow. He was a draft pick. Yes.
Yeah. That's a bad scout. Why would you take him so late?
Yeah, right. Because he knew he wasn't going to go to that sport.
They could have gotten him earlier if they paid him, but he probably still would have done amazing things to the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah.
I mean, my claim to fame in baseball is Ryan Sandberg. When I was playing American Legion, hit a home run off me, and they're still looking for the ball. There's Yellowstone National Park. Couldn't have that one in, and my deep prayers for Ryan, who's been diagnosed and is going through treatment right now. Is wonderful one of our guys here in Spokane. And my other claim to fame is I held John Stockton to 32 points a game in high school. So my days in basketball and baseball were numbered. And even though both my brothers played on the Canadian national team, my brother Dave played for the Canadian Olympic team in Seoul, Korea in 1988. And I was raised a baseball player, but I couldn't either hit or throw that doggone curveball. So that's one thing you have to do in this game, I guess, to be successful.
I was going to say, because you played baseball, basketball, and football. When did you kind of hone in on football to know that like this is going to take you to Washington State, and then ultimately where it did lead you to?
It was my least favorite sport of them all. I played as a junior league football, and I played nose tackle and quarterback on my seventh grade team. Then I played linebacker and quarterback on my eighth grade team. Ninth grade team, I just played quarterback. I was a tall, skinny kid. I was like 6'4", probably 160 pounds, or in ninth grade. And every time I got hit, my mom thought I was going to break in half, and I didn't like it, but I played it because all the other guys played it, and I kept playing and started growing into my body a little bit. Now I've grown into my body a little bit more than I want to, but anyways, I started, that was a sport that I felt I could excel in. And I didn't play hockey, growing up, born in Canada, came to the U.S. My brothers and I, it was just too expensive for us to get ice time and equipment and all that. So we went with baseball and the other sports. But then I just that was a sport that I loved and excelled in, and went on to Washington State. Loved being a Coug down there in Pullman, and then off with being drafted by Joe Gibbs, Tom Brady, and I, couple of 6th-round draft picks.
I love it.
Wow,
went out there. So that was a lot of fun. And by the way, you talk about Andy Reid, amazing coach, and I was very fortunate to be on Joe Gibbs' team to have three Super Bowl winning quarterbacks in one organization is pretty impressive. So.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Joe Gibbs, because just a legendary coach, and obviously now legendary in the NASCAR and the auto racing world as well, which is just amazing. I know you got into that as well after in your career. But what was it about Joe Gibbs that made him such a great coach?
I think he had a formula of guys that he wanted, and when he drafted guys, they did some research. Now they do all these analytics and everything about every player and where they come from. But he did more on background checks of these guys and who they are and how well they get along. I mean, one of his downfalls was he kept guys a little bit longer in the tooth, but he also knew they're great in the clubhouse. They're good guys in the locker room, and they still had a year or two left in them. So he kept them around. That was also, Kathryn, if you don't remember, that was before free agency.
Yep.
And kind of like the NIL right now, my daughter went to University of Alabama and worked under Coach Saban when she was down there. And I think it's the same thing as happened in college sports, is that you don't have a nucleus of guys that are there for a long period of time. You cannot really get a grip on who's going to be around, what's going to happen, and how it's going to go. So I think that's maybe one of the reasons why Nick Saban, who also loves golf and is a pretty good golfer himself, left the coaching scene. But Joe Gibbs was just one of the guys that had a philosophy, had a way of doing it, drafted guys and traded guys that he thought would be a great fit for what he was doing. And I'm just very blessed and grateful that I fit in there the way I did. So it's nice.
Hey, Rip, you were talking about your hockey, going back to the hockey heritage.
Yep.
Your cousins, obviously the late Rick. Are you doing a lot of stuff with mental health as well? And I didn't realize that Shane Churla was also a cousin of yours.
Yeah, Chucky. So Chucky was a cousin of mine too.
Wow,
I had those real good.
Heck of a litany there.
Yeah, that is.
But
I mean, obviously, Chucky was more of a pugilist and aggressive guy that went in there and did the little things on hockey that not a lot of people talk about. Going in the corners, playing physical, getting guys off their game, and he was one of the first. And then my cousin Rick. So I do some mental advocacy work. The Ricky Rip Foundation, and I know Kevin Bieksa is a very close friend of Rick, is still keeping his legacy going and helping a lot of people up in Canada. And I think, the more we can do that, the more we can offer our assistance, whether it be through, hyperbaric oxygen therapy chambers, whether it be through transcranial magnetic stimulation, TMS work, or just to get a blood test to find out what you're deficient in and get you, like I say, get these guys off of opioids, get these guys in a better place, state of mind where they can do the things that we love and watch them do on the screen and in person that enables them to live a long and productive life. So when the lights are down, which is obviously one of the hardest things, Panger, and Craig, you played sports, and Kathryn, you played sports. When you're not playing sports anymore and you kind of know it's over with, that's when it's the hardest, because now there's not a lot of people patting you on the back and saying, "Oh gosh, you were so great last week. Oh, you're last year or whatever." And now it's, I remember you. I go, "Thank you. That's good that you remembered me. That's a long time ago." But the lights, when the lights go down, it's tough.
Yeah.
And I think we've all been to places where it's, it's kind of dark and you don't know what you're doing. But you find the right people around you. I think it works wonders. So.
Yeah. That's great.
And others, I mean, we're tougher news, but their dog, the mascot, their Vancouver Canucks dog,
I saw that
Rypien, just passed away.
Yep. Rip.
Oh, really?
Yep. Just passed away. So,
oh,
yeah. The Canucks had a dog called Rip. And
Rip.
he just succumbed to succumbed to some illness. So yeah.
Ah, boy.
Hey, Rip, I wanted to ask you a couple questions.
I got the Vancouver Canucks this week. Hey, before you go there, Niner,
good.
I got the Canucks there coming up this week, and our good buddy Rick Tocchet is the head coach. And I'll get this last hockey thought from you, Rip, because you're a fan. But man, are they making Vancouver fans proud with the way that they're playing? What a ride!
Unbelievable. I thought that Connor McJesus and everything that they were doing in Edmonton going down, and that actually it's sad for them. They had the All-Star break.
Yeah.
They were gonna set the record, Then they actually really played a good game. I was gonna go to it. I was in Palm Springs playing golf and was thinking of going to the game. They actually played really well. It's just Hill stood on his head, and what Vancouver's been doing is incredible, and that's just one of the things is in hockey is, Panger and Craig and Kathryn, covering it for so many years, is it's a team that's getting hot going into the playoffs.
Exactly right.
Look at the Florida. Look at the Florida Panthers last year. I mean, they get hot going in, and they face a Boston team they had no chance of beating, and they go in and they win. A really hard fought series there, and then end up going to the Cup, and tribute to them. But there's a lot of teams this year. Vegas is good again. Boston's good again. Toronto is playing at a high end, as is Colorado and Vancouver and Edmonton, and a lot of these teams. It's just not catching fire. So,
Are you enjoying having a team in Seattle?
The crack.
Oh, yeah,
I've never been to a game yet. And a buddy of mine, a good friend of mine, one of his best friends is one of the part owners there, one of the minority owners. And but I'm going to go to a game there.
So fun.
Speaking of which, our new guy is for the Redskins or Commanders, excuse me, is has offered anytime I want to come up to New Jersey, watch the Devils play. He's owner of the Devils, and it says you ever want to come down, watch a basketball game of the 76ers. I think the guy is kind of like Joe Gibbs, wherever he touches turns to gold. And so we're hoping that's going to be the case in Washington. It's been a long time. So I think the fans deserve better there, and they're going to get better. He's going to put a lot of infrastructure money into the existing stadium, which is a dog track, by the way. It's not very good. But I think there's talks and plans about going back and demolishing RFK and building a whole new facility there. So I hope they do that.
Right.
Awesome.
Right.
Well, I should have called you while I was there for the Winter Classic. I can't believe I didn't lean on you. That's my fault.
Always call me, Panger. If you're ever out here in the area, I think that one in Seattle is always good. It's my sister lives over there, so if you're ever in Seattle again, please holler at me. Or Van City's easy, Calgary's easy to get to. My brother Dave was born in Edmonton, so I've never been to a game in Edmonton.
Beautiful arena.
It's nice pretty cool.
It's nice.
I hear that's a pretty cool stadium there too. So yeah.
I'll be up in Vancouver shortly. I'm going to go up and visit our good buddy Tockett and take a couple of games in. So I'll let you know when I'm up there.
I tell you, he's doing a wonderful job. Amazing. I tell you,
Jack Adams.
The guy is
Jack Adams.
Yep, the guy knows what he's doing. He really knows what he's doing. So,
Hey, Rip, I
took him out before our game in Vancouver, and I took him out hard. I tried to panger him before the game, and a couple of old fashions, man. I did my best, Rip. I mean, I did my best. And the next morning, he said, "You nearly got me. And for a little fella, you don't give up easily, do you?" I said, "No, I don't." And then they won that game too.
That's one of my favorite adult beverages is an old fashioned. There's nothing wrong with that, right? To have one of those, game time prior to game is awesome.
Good. Panger, the good news is you can do it to him again tonight before tomorrow's game. Perfect. But
we're getting good news too. Connor Bedard's real close to returning, which is great for the NHL. By the way, so that's really, and his favorite team is Vancouver. He grew up a Chris Tanev fan of all, kind of a unique player for a guy for Connor Bedard, but he won't get a chance to play against the team that he grew up loving as a Vancouver native. So, but that's good news for the NHL. That'll be about a week away. He'll be
speaking of Chicago and Connor Bedard coming back. We got some guys here in Spokane that are still doing very well. Tyler Johnson's on maybe his last years, the Spokane kid. Kyler Yamamoto, is playing well, and Bobby Ryan is another Spokane kid.
That's right.
So,
Oh yeah, I forgot about Bobby Ryan being a Spokane kid. Yeah, because he's been all over the map. He was in Jersey. He was in
my gosh, all over. Yeah. Yep.
And he's just one of those guys he's one of those guys that'll do everything for you. He's great on PK. He's great on or PK kill, and he's great on fourth line, third line, second line, wherever you put him. He's just kind of gets it done, finds a way. So.
Hey, Rip, I wanted to just take you back to the football real quick. The projection for this year's draft class at quarterback. So many different storylines. Who's going to trade down? Who's going to trade up? What are they going to do with Fields in Chicago? What's your perspective on all the quarterbacks that are coming out, and where do you think the chips may fall?
Well, it could be 1, 2, 3, whether it's Williams, May, and Daniels. I don't know. I'm curious. I mean, I was with our ownership team in Vegas for a night there. Probably should have asked.
Breaking news on the Back to You podcast, right from
I could have thrown this right out here today and been a big hit or a big football. Who knows? But anyways, it's interesting. Adam Peters, I think we're excited, but I chatted with him about almost an hour and didn't even ask who they're going to draft, and didn't even think of it. I was just more concerned about where the direction the team's going, how excited we are to have someone like himself, and John Lynch, I think, has done an amazing job in San Francisco. But I think I don't really know. Yeah. Some of the vibes about Chicago getting another quarterback. Is that what the route they want to go? Should they trade? And get a pick in the 10th round, where maybe still one of these guys are. I don't. That's all the wonders and the great kind of games within the games of the draft. Is it everyone's going to say, oh, we're going to get so and so, then someone will trade up to get that person, and it's kind of how it works. So I know we're in a good position. We could trade up, but I think there's maybe two out of the three guys that we probably really like that we could get. And I keep telling any team that you're only as good as the guys up front. So build there. Yeah. And I think, that might be something that they do. I mean, you're only offensively and as a linebacker even, you're making plays just because those defensive linemen are doing what they're supposed to do and they're keeping double teams off you. So you have to build from that standpoint at some point in time. But this is an industry that wants to win yesterday. And so they think they're going to get the next great guy that's going to take them there. And if he only plays 4 games because he just get the snot beat out of him, the first part of the season, that's not good either. So
that's why I like watching Kevin Costner in Draft Day. That Draft Day movie's really good. You've seen that movie. That's the way it's built. Like, who shows up at your birthday party? That's what you want to know.
It's like selecting dodgeball players and teammates.
Awesome.
Yep, the intangibles, always.
I love it.
So good.
I know Rip. Everybody would show up at Rip's birthday party. That's all I know.
Yeah, well, I had the big 60 about a year and a half ago, and my kids came into town. I go, I don't want anything big, and next thing they have this at the Kalispell, or the old Spokane Country Club that I'm at. I go there and they say, we're just going to go have dinner, Dad. And I go there and I go, but it was nice.
What was it, a big blowout or?
Yeah, that wasn't big, but probably 100 people, and I had about 15, 20 came down from Canada. Some of the ones that were at the Super Bowl in 91, 92, Rick's dad and his uncle and a couple of the cousins. So that was kind of nice.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's great. I'm turning 60 in 5 days.
Yeah, he's right behind you.
And where are we celebrating it at? Where are you going to be? What city are you going to be in?
Of all the teams, I'm an Ottawa raised kid, and the Ottawa Senators are in town on Saturday, so I got to do a hockey game.
I'm sure there'll be something else for you.
Oh, there'll be something special for you, I imagine. Yep.
Happy 60th, Panger. Happy 60th.
Yeah, Panger, big week for you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks.
Big 60.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. What do you have going on? What's coming up? Oh, we lost Panger.
We lost Panger. He's so excited.
He's already celebrating his
birthday.
There he is. We lost you for a minute there, big guy.
Did you lose me or
no, we lost you, Panger. You went away.
You. Oh, sorry, man.
We thought you were headed to the birthday party.
We thought you were already we thought you were pre-functioning your birthday already.
I had to go play golf. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, Rip.
We get it. I was just asking.
Where's everyone at? Kathryn,
I'm in New Jersey. I'm about 30 miles west of Manhattan. So, yep.
Wonderful. Panger, where are you
I'm
at?
in Chicago. I'm in.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got actually here. Let's take a gander here for you.
Niner, Conley, where are you at?
Scottsdale.
There.
Oh, geez, you can get out and play. It's nice there. Oh, look, Chicago looks nice today.
Yeah, look at that.
Beautiful view, Panger. It looks great out there.
Yeah.
Hey, Rip,
really nice.
You can get out and play Butterfield today.
You know what? I played it twice in October with Troy Murray and the the great group there that how many guys? Boy, Joey from Tofano's is a member over there. How many guys are members there?
I last time I played it was with George Blanda about 25 years ago, and that was a special thing for me. He was such a wonderful guy. So
spot.
Appreciate all those guys. I appreciate all those guys as you do, Panger, and that paved the way before us. That made it
for sure.
Made it easy transition and always looked up to. So nice.
Rip, did you see that skyline and that view from Panger's place? And you see the kitchen and living room that Kathryn's in?
Oh,
you need to get into broadcasting and get their agents.
No,
I'll tell you that.
I would love to be down on the ice with the guys. That would be my.
You'd be the tallest guy in between the benches.
Good Lord!
Absolutely.
I would put.
Panger, you got hit with a puck.
Yeah,
you got hit with a puck a year ago, didn't you? In the face, or
no, that was somebody else. But Rob Ray got hit in the face. Brian Engblom got hit in the face. I'm still quick as a cat.
Oh,
goalie reflexes never failed
reflexes.
him. That's right.
Yep, they never fail. They never go away.
I better knock on wood, man, because I'm going to take one right in the melon. I know it. Just
on your 60th birthday on Saturday against
my
Ottawa.
60th birthday.
Yeah.
Brady Kachuk's
Would that be
going to come over
something?
the boards and
Oh, good Lord.
He's going to give you a nice check in between there. I love it.
Ridley Gregg's going to fire a slap shot into the empty net and then take a cross check from Morgan Riley. Oh, baby.
I love it. So what do you have going up in the next couple of months, Mark? Is it anything exciting?
Yes. I'm actually going to play and I go down to Old Memorial with a couple of old hockey
love
guys.
Old Memorial. One of my favorites outside of Tampa. I mean, outside of Tampa.
Absolutely. We're going to honor our good friend Clark Gillies.
Yes.
Paul Paternoster and Chris Amplo are very, very big supporters of Clark's Foundation. All of us, Mario, myself, and Pierre LaRouche, and Dan Jansen, Mike Ruzioni, we go to play in Mario's or in Clark's event every year for the last, 25, 30 years. And anyway, so honor him. They Chris and Paul take us all, and we get to bring a guest to Old Memorial because that's kind of was Clark's place to go to, and we kind of celebrate him and the foundation and go there for about 3-4 days. And actually this year I should give a shout out to Austin Lemieux, who is qualified for the Corn Ferry Tour event in Tampa.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and we'll play in it, and I'm going to play with Mario in the Pro-Am that Wednesday beforehand.
Cool.
So it's a pretty exciting time.
What a fun event
for Austin.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's pretty neat. Yeah, good kid too. Really good kid.
Very cool. Well, enjoy it.
We'll have fun at Old
Memorial. So that's
Memorial,
kind of exciting.
buddy.
Looking forward to that. My daughter and grandkids are moving into a new place up in Baldwin Park in Orlando. My oldest granddaughter's going to go to Bishop Moore School, and it's a little bit closer. They were down in Celebration, Florida, and now they're going to be a little closer up there. So I'm going to help them move into their new place up there, and just probably end up playing some golf. I told you the Joe Namath tournament in March. I think March 7, 8, and 9. So that's coming up.
Busy. A lot of golf, a lot of busyness. Yeah. Awesome.
Good for you.
Well,
golf is golf is that mental health.
Absolutely.
Equalizer, gets us out on the golf course and keeps us
be
sane.
With friends, and it's such a great common theme. Common denominator of friendships. We all have golf to talk about. We get to share moments on the course together, and even just passing by. I mean, you mentioned Janet was a couple foursomes ahead of you. I mean, just seeing friends on the golf course. There's nothing like it. So yeah. We're getting ready for golf weather here. I'm about a month and a half away, but I'll be ready.
Especially,
you guys,
when you're taking some money from your buddies.
Exactly. Well, there's like I say, there's always a place for golf, and there's the relationships that we have held and kept. It's pretty cool what golf has done, especially maybe these last 5 years with COVID and everything else. It's pretty surreal. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming on and joining us. It's been so fun to talk to you. Good to see you. Glad you had a nice weekend at the Super Bowl.
Great to see you. Yeah. Thank you, Kathryn, and Panger is great, and Niner is awesome, buddy.
We'll
Good
see
seeing you all again.
Tahoe, buddy.
You guys look great. Gosh, it's awesome.
Can't wait.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Rip.
All right.
Have a great rest of your day, Rip.
Really
Take care.
It, Rip.
Thanks for coming on,
buddy.
Thank you too. Cheers.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
great. Does he do a lot for charity, you guys? It's unbelievable. It really is.
Everything. Look at it. Just rolls off his tongue too. Like he doesn't just do it. He he knows what he's doing. He's very invested in everything that he does. I love being with the guy. Love being with him and his wife. They're fun people to be around. That's and he's a heck of a player. Like when he talks about his golf swing too.
He had 11 top 10 finishes in Tahoe. 11 top 10 finishes, and I think he won it a couple times too.
He won a couple. Yep.
Yeah. That's a tough field, as you guys know.
For sure.
He's always just so happy, upbeat, positive, energetic, just brings the life of the party all the time, too.
By the way, can talk about hockey, can talk about college football, can talk about the NFL. I'm like, he should be an analyst.
Yeah, why doesn't he have his own show?
I know, he should.
You know, one thing I wanted to mention, too, is we were talking about the Super Bowl and unsung heroes. Obviously, we talk about Kelsey, Mahomes, Andy Reid, etc. He brought up Harrison Butker, right?
Yeah.
I want to just read this real quick about Harrison Butker, because I read an article this morning that he didn't get enough attention and the appropriate kudos to him. Harrison Butker this year, 44 of 46 on all his field goals. 15 of 15 on field goals of 40-plus yards this year. 7 of 7 on 50-plus yards, 46 of 46 on extra points, 2 field goals from 50-plus yards in the Super Bowl, and the longest field goal in Super Bowl history, 57 yards.
Unreal.
I wanted to give that shout out to him because I don't think he got enough. He didn't get enough props after the game.
He didn't, but you know what? No one on that team does, because it's all going to go to Mahomes and Kelsey. And 100%. You know what? That's probably why that team is having a lot of success and has the success they have, 100%. Because the players that are in that locker room don't care about the recognition. They don't want to be Travis Kelce. They want to play Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, he's a Rutgers guy. Shout out to Rutgers.
Yeah.
But, he just goes out there and does his job, and that's why it works. You've got the superstars, but then you've got the guys that are okay. That offensive line, they're okay with not being the superstars.
100%.
That's why it works. And the defense is totally unheralded. I mean, they carried the team throughout the entire season, but they're not your flashy defense.
Right. And KT, they just like what Rip was talking about with Joe Gibbs and how they drafted and the research they did, but didn't they have the French Canadian didn't they win a Super Bowl? A French Canadian, I think he was a linebacker or whatever. And then during COVID, he was a doctor.
Oh, yes.
Then he left.
Yep.
And went back to help.
Yep.
Wow.
That's right. I'm drawing a blank on the name now that you mentioned it, but it's too. Yes.
Right.
Yep. No, it's amazing. It's amazing.
So they must have an amazing locker room.
I mean, we have not seen the end of Kansas City. I'm sorry. They are the class of the NFL. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes is going to win a couple more, if not more than that, Super Bowls. There's no one else that can compete in that kind of way almost. It's like here they come in as the underdogs, which is incredible, and then to go out there, come from behind again as they've done all season long. Yeah. Oh, by the way they got in, it was like Dolphins, the Bills, the Ravens. I mean, those were Super Bowl caliber teams that they just basically bulldozed over to get to the Super Bowl. It's really impressive.
And by the way, 2 years ago, to free agency, they lost the fastest wide receiver and a go-to guy for Mahomes. And what happened? They drafted another guy in the first round that happened to be really good.
Yep.
Well, I wonder what's going to happen when it does come to an end for Travis.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Rip that. How important is it knowing you've got a safety valve of a tight end or somebody that big and somebody so sure-handed when that does happen? Like, who's the next one?
Right.
Because Mahomes is going to be playing, I would have to think, long after Travis is going to be retired. I would have to think.
Did you guys think Andy Reid would have retired after the big win yesterday?
No
chance.
No?
I think he wants to be part of this forever.
Yeah. He's like Belichick until they make him leave.
We won 2 in a row. Let's win 3 in a row. How can you win 3 in a row if you're not there?
Geez, can you imagine the State Farm commercials he's going to be doing now? Ooh.
Oh gosh, enough. It's oversaturation of everybody on that team. I need a little break from the Chiefs and everybody. But I love our producer here, Cody Merrow, writing NBC is going to pay Travis and Jason to do a Manning cast for Sunday Night Football with KT.
It's out there.
I like that idea, Cody. Let's do it. Let's throw it out there. I've heard that. I've heard rumblings of that. I would not be surprised.
I think he'd be successful.
Yeah, those guys are great. They're a riot. Awesome. But So, our thanks to Mark for coming on. Mark Rypien, always good to see him and to chat with him. Good to see you guys. Niner, glad to see you survived Vegas. Or so you appear to be. I haven't seen your financials, so I'm not really 100%.
I did okay. I came home a winner.
Look,
awesome.
He's got his free swag on. He's got his Mura hat on. He's got his back to you
Johnny O shirt.
He's got the Johnny O stuff.
You're repping the brand.
Actually, it's my Vegas look.
Yeah.
Why don't you, the hearts, the diamonds.
Why don't you throw out the Johnny O's 15% off thing for us then? Johnny loves that. Nice casual 15% off at Johnny.O's, Johnny/O's. Everybody knows it's Johnny O's. Huh?
Johnny O's, a proud supporter of the show, and also Mura. Our thanks to them. I have a brand new set of golf clubs waiting for me in my foyer right now. They were delivered today, but some of us have to work for a living, and I haven't had a chance to open the box. I know you guys are like, "How can it just sit there?" I can't. I couldn't step away.
That's a priority. Whenever I see something golf related,
as soon as we end this podcast, I'm going to rip it open.
Speaking of which, thank you, Mura. I played on Saturday.
Beautiful.
First round with them. It was the second round of my match of 10 with Chucky. And needless to say, he's only got 8 matches left to try and win 4.
I love it.
I love it. Ain't going to happen.
Well,
we got to get Chucky in them.
Yeah.
We got to get Chucky in them for sure.
He actually wants them. He actually wants them.
No question.
He wants them 100%.
He can't have them because I need to beat him in Tahoe before he gets them. So I'm going to use my new Muras and hit the ball better and longer than I ever have. And I'm going to beat Chuck, and then he can get the Muras. So don't get them for him yet, Craig.
Well,
okay.
By the way, if you're interested in
Johnny O's,
Johnny O's, yep, you got it, Panger. You want to take it?
You got it. The Johnny, you mean the Johnny /O. JOHNNIE is the way Johnny spells Johnny. Back to you, 15, B2Y15, 50% off, 15% off, johnny-o.com.
Yep.
15% off. Back to you, 15 for 15% off miragolf.com as well. 15% off the Miras. All right, let's go get them.
Bargain. I love it. Let's go get them.
Back to you.
Good
15.
job. Great job with those reads, Panger. and good job, guys. Great to have Mark on, and we'll look forward to another episode of Back to You coming up in the near future. Stay tuned.
Happy birthday, Panger.
Guys. Happy 60th, Panger. Yay!
Sounds good. Have a great week, you guys.
Bye.
You too.
You go to johnny-o.com. johnny-o.com, 50% off the first purchase, and using the B2Y15. B2Y15. Back to you, 15. So that's 15% off their first purchase. Our good friends over at Johnny O's, and don't forget. Well, gang, on this show, we like to showcase an event or a story which caught our attention as relates to an achievement featuring hard work and dedication of one's craft. That's exactly what Back to You is all about. This is powered by Miura Golf. And when you think of Miura Golf, you think of Katsuhiro Miura, the founder of Miura Golf, and he's mastered the art of steel. Take a look at this. That's hand forged, baby, right there. That's what this is all about. Every forged club is handcrafted at the factory in Himeji, Japan, where Miura's meticulous process and attention to detail highlight the family's unwavering pursuit of perfection. And if that isn't Back to You, I don't know what is.